What's up, LA Live Gang? This is your boy AC, and I'm back with another edition of LA Sports Live. As you guys come into the video, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, if you just found a brother, go ahead and subscribe. And while you at it, make sure you hit that notification bell so you be notified every day when we drop new videos here on YouTube. Now, you guys see the thumbnail, you see the title. Um, I kind of held off uh, of really giving like a full team critique uh, of the LA Lakers. You know, as the season, well, actually, when the season started, and we had so many injuries, and as the season progressed, and we continued to have so many injuries, and now over the last few weeks with this team being ravaged with health and safety protocol situations. I had said give this team till Christmas so we could, have an accurate idea as to what we're looking at. Oh, okay, it's interesting. Um, Draymond Green just entered health and safety protocols, so there's probably going to be a breakout on the Golden State Warriors anyhow. Um, so I say give it to Christmas because we have so many injuries. So give us to Christmas so we can get an adequate amount of time to evaluate this team to see exactly what we had to work with. And Christmas has come and gone. Um, we still have not had our full team, even though we're past Christmas. But I can't delay the evaluation any longer. Um, I think we're 35 or 36 games into the season, 37, I don't know. And of course, this is going to be a full 82 game season this year. And so, I mean, with that being said, with us being very close to the 41 midway mark, and that would put us at a halfway, we all know this team is in bad shape. This team is in bad shape for real. Ravaged with injuries and as of late with health and safety protocols. And the primary three reasons why this team finds itself in this situation is um, injuries, defense, or lack thereof, and you know performance. Uh, this team is just not performing properly, and they're just not putting in maximum effort. So that's what I wish to say is effort, not performance. The team is just not really putting in max effort night in and night out. Now, I know there's several different reasons. I know there's a lot of reasons for a lot of different situations, uh, and just for each individual player as to what they're doing or what they're not doing, and why they're performing or not performing, or their attitude on the court, all that kind of stuff. So it's just like there's just the performance just hasn't been there. It just hasn't been there, and from top to bottom, it's just been a terrible year. Honestly, uh, I think with the lineup that they had last night, the Lakers have had 18 different starting lineups up to date. 18 different starting lineups, and there's just no way. There's just no way a team can get continuity with 18 different lineups. 18 different lineups, 18 different starting lineups in like 35 or 36 games. So that's like basically every other game is a different starting lineup. And that doesn't mention, but you have a different starting lineup, then you also have different rotations. That's just ridiculous. That's just I don't see how they've won as many games as they have. And at the same time, they've lost some games that they really should have won. So it's just really weird. It's just really weird. So we're not going to sit up here and beat a dead horse. I got about 3 or 4 points I want to go over, and then we're going to get up out of here, and then go from there. Point number one, and I didn't want this to be the case, but point number one, with 35 games, 36 games in, uh, Russell Westbrook, I don't think he's missed any games. If he's missed any games, it's just one. But he's pretty much been an Iron Man, and he's pretty much played every game. But I'm sorry, Russ, you got to go, bro. You got to go quick, fast, in a hurry. Uh, Russ had a good run for a while, man. But honestly, all the bad habits and all the stuff that people brought up um, about their reasoning as to why they don't think he belongs on the Lakers, man. Uh, we've seen these things, and I just don't think Russ can control it, for an extended amount of time. I don't know, man. To me, it's just if they were just to get rid of him, and it would be an addition just by subtraction if you would just get rid of him, man. I mean, I don't know. You go to other people and they tell you all the specific details about why Russ got to go, but for me specifically, it's not even. It's, one of the things that most people don't talk about is the defense. His defense is horrible. He plays defense when he wants to. He'll get a few steals here and there, and it's it's just for the most part, man. He gets cooked. He gets cooked, and for Russell Westbrook to be, what is it, 13, 14 years in the league, man. I don't like to talk about people, man. I really don't like to talk about people because it is what it is. But it's just watching him play, man. I'm just like, man, this is one dumbass player. He just does a lot of dumb stuff, and it's just like stuff that he does. I'm like, you expect to see that out of a rookie, not somebody who they claim was an MVP one season, man. The walking triple double. And that right there, I kind of lost respect for that too, man, because Russell Westbrook he's such a tremendous athlete. And somebody with his athletic prowess, I think it's kind of easy. No, well, I wouldn't say it's easy to average a triple double, but I'm just like, man, I'm like this. If he can concentrate and make sure that he gets his triple dub, and we know he averaged triple dub for a season, he could put that focus into other parts of his game to make it better, man. Because I'm just thoroughly disappointed in his performance. But on the other hand, I'm not sure why, because it's exactly what we expected. I mean, it's exactly the same Russell Westbrook that we've seen on how many other teams now? Three other teams that he played on, man. It's the same thing. It doesn't fit with the Lakers. It doesn't fit with the Lakers. Russell Westbrook has over 250 turnovers in 35 games with the Lakers. 250 fucking two. The last time I checked, I believe it was 253. 253 turnovers. That's just ridiculous, man. That's just ridiculous. Is he? Wait a minute. I don't know if it was 253 or 150, something like that. But it's a ridiculous amount of turnovers. He's second in the league behind James Harden in turnovers. It's ridiculous, man. They supposedly had the meeting, Russ, LeBron, and AD before the season started, and they said they were going to come together, and everybody was going to make sacrifices to their game. I don't know what he said he was going to sacrifice or what he was going to do better. I don't know. I don't know, but I just don't see any changes, man. I just don't see any changes, bro. And I don't think I know LeBron. LeBron usually makes the right decision a lot of times. LeBron's a pretty smart guy, one of the highest basketball IQs out there, but I just don't really understand the thinking, his thinking of bringing Russ to LA. Unless there's another part of the plan that hasn't been revealed yet, which is entirely possible. It's possible that there's another part of the plan that hasn't been revealed yet, but I just don't understand LeBron thinking as to why he would bring Westbrook. Man, it's just not working out. And I'm not going to sit here and say trade him for this guy, trade him from that guy, because when it comes to those kind of trades, whatever we talk about and sit here and speculate, it never ends up being that anyway. So what's the point? What's the point? In an absolutely dream world, in a dream scenario, I would love to have. There's a lot of players I would love to have, but I would love to have Ben Simmons. But I just don't. I don't think that's in the cards. And you know, I just hope Rob can make a sensible trade and just move on from Russ. Good guy, but it's just not working out with the Lakers. Okay, number two, Anthony Davis. Now, the last few 4 or 5 games have proved that Anthony Davis is still very uh, important to this team. Important to this team. It'd be extremely beneficial to have him back. And he's still a great player, man. But we've ripped AD a lot about his performance the last 2 seasons. Last season he missed half the season. He was hurt, and now he's hurt again. But a lot of people are just questioning his effort, and and just saying that he's just not that guy and all that kind of stuff. But through my analysis, I've watched a lot of things, I've heard a lot of things. I'm just kind of watching, and you go to back to his first season with the Lakers, one of his probably his best season of his career, Anthony Davis, and that was with LeBron James basically force feeding his ass the ball as much as possible. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, good morning, AC, my brother.
Hey, what's going on, man? You in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Oh, okay. Thanks for jumping on, bro. I just had like 4 little things I wanted to cover with the Lakers. You got any comments so far about I guess we were like 35 games in or whatever. My analysis of Russ is I just don't think it's gonna work out, man. So I
Yeah,
think he needs to be moved. So I'm not gonna comment on to who for what or what are all that kind of stuff. But what is your analysis on Russ with with his first year with the Lakers?
no doubt, bro. I got you. I saw you on. I hopped on to support you. You support us, Marcel and I on our station, man.
Pre-
Return the
pre-
favor. Um,
Appreciate that. For you guys don't know, Laker Bryce, he's one of the co-hosts on Lakers Over Everything. You guys make sure you subscribe and go check out Lakers Over Everything. Go ahead, Bryce.
yes. What do you call it? My analysis, man, so far. Let me preface it by saying I'm a pretty optimistic person. I'm a pretty optimistic Laker fan. I try to give players a shot unless I think they're absolutely terrible from the jump. But if they're not, I try to embrace them. As being a Laker and give them a chance. 35 games in. Although Westbrook is a great player, I'm thinking that it may be time to move him. His time may be up. Um, it would just I'm starting to see it would just be beneficial for the team. You know, um, because it's just like the styles are different, the effort the effort
Right,
is different, maybe the motivation is different. And the first clue about it was just recently when he said that winning the ring wasn't everything. The sun will come up
right,
and that was immediately like, oh, okay, you know, I'm a little up there, in age now, so I go back to the '80s Lakers,
Right,
and
right,
and the one thing we've always had fans and players alike was we always kind of knew that Laker way, like you hear Magic say it. Like I believe he even said it recently about Schroeder. Like, oh man, he's not a Laker at heart or something like that.
right, right,
It's just a mentality, willingness to win at all costs. Like, want to be a champion. It's not about the stats. It's about hanging those banners and winning championships at the end of the day. And if you're not constantly pursuing that, or if that's not the number one goal, then you don't fit the Laker way, man. And that's just what I'm seeing. Um, I'm sorry to rag on him that way. I won't talk about who he needs to be moved for, but I'm just under the assumption now that if we do move him, other things would just start to fall into place now. That's just that's just how I see it. Kind of like how you said just a moment ago, addition by subtraction. You know,
right, right. It's crazy you brought up Schroeder because um, I have kind of a feeling of a deja vu from last year, man. Um, the Lakers decided to make a decision, a change with point guard, and we saw the same thing last season with Dennis Schroeder, and things just didn't work out. And it's crazy because Schroeder started off on the wrong foot, talking about he wants to start and not come off the bench and all that other kind of stuff. And it's like
yeah,
it's not what I want to hear from you, bro. You're a
exactly.
Laker now, you know. And with Russ coming in, even though it's a much different situation, the guy's a former MVP and you know all that other kind of stuff, whatever. But it's like still, bro, this you haven't won anything. You're on the Lakers. You're in your home. You at home on the hometown team. It's like what you need to be saying and what you need to be doing is, look, I'm coming here. It's a clean slate. Whatever the Lakers need me to do, this is what I need to do so we can win the championship. Not no bullshit talking about if we win, we win. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. Nobody want to hear. You need to get the hell out of here just based upon that, bro. Just get your
Yep,
ass out of here.
that's what I'm talking about. I supported him until he said that. I gave him a chance, and he said those things when he first got here. He got here to LA. He like, hey man, whatever AD and Bron need me to do, I fit
Yeah,
in this and that. And then, to his credit, you kept having Bron and AD saying, we just need Russ to be Russ. So okay, we're gonna see how that's gonna go. So he
yeah,
started he started being more Russ, and then it got to a point where I saw him actually make some adjustments. His turnovers went down. He was up around 7 a game. They started coming down about 3 or 4. You
yeah,
know, he stopped shooting so many threes as he would, and I was like, okay, he's trying to make some adjustments. Around the same time, we started seeing Anthony Davis play fall,
right.
and so I was like, okay, Russ not the problem. He's making the effort. There's other problems, which is the truth. There's other problems with the Lakers. Um, but when Russ got back to that point and he said, like winning isn't everything, I was like, oh yeah, we're done for.
Yeah,
At that point, I knew he wasn't gonna make the plays necessary because it's like he doesn't have enough urgency. He doesn't have enough sense of urgency to really make the correct play to win at the end of the day. And it's not going to bother him enough to make the adjustment for the next game to possibly win that next game. And so after last night, I came to the conclusion, you just saw it. Like, you couldn't complete the play when it was needed. You guys stormed back.
yeah,
Uh, even though, we don't we don't always want to see Bron shoot a three to try to win the game or tie it. I mean, he
nah,
was open. He was open when when Russ was driving, you
yeah,
know. Russ got hung. And that was it.
Oh man, I never like. I don't want to be a dead horse, but the dude getting hung, man, and just blowing so many layups, bro. That's just unacceptable, bro. I mean, and LeBron tries to sum it up by just saying, "Oh, he just had a bad shooting night." I'm like, bro, who has a bad shooting night? I mean, you take 20 shots and only four of them were jump shots. How the hell? And then I'm like, Stu is pointing it out. Stu is like, look, he's much better at finishing it with his left versus the right, or vice versa. I don't remember, but I'm like, damn, bro, it's just kind of ridiculous. But anyway, Russ
Yeah.
and AD, that kind of segues into my second thing about Anthony Davis. And I think, like I was saying right before you came on, AD he's got a lot of flack. This hasn't been his best year, but what I was going to say is I'm starting to think, and, again, this deja vu from last season, but I'm starting to think a lot of what's going on with AD. I think he made a mistake with his body. He should have put on the extra weight. He should have just stayed where he was at.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I think a lot of people are frustrated with him for his lack of effort and all that kind of stuff. Man, I think that has something to do with Russ.
That's okay. Me and you, we always like step and step, right on point.
Right,
I've been waiting to say that same thing too. I came to that conclusion. Um, it is, and I don't know. I can't say anything for 100% sure. I can only guess, but I see the same thing. I don't know if it's Russ's aggressiveness, like when it comes to certain things, like I'm gonna get this rebound. You know what I mean?
right,
Or kind of clear out so I could drive, or let me dictate, what's going on right now. Whatever the case may be, I kind of see the same things, especially like how you said going back to last year's like deja vu. Deja vu. Uh, Last year the point guard was just incapable of getting the ball
right,
to AD or orchestrating the offense. This year he's capable. He just doesn't have the IQ. I mean, I'm sorry to say, my man is lacking a lot of basketball IQ. And he just doesn't have the IQ to uh, figure out how to use and incorporate Anthony Davis. And so I think that kind of takes away a lot of AD's aggressiveness. He's already comfortable playing second fiddle, and so then when you're saying, "Hey, be number one," but then you have a player's actions that's really, kind of putting him back in his place as number two. He's like, "Okay, I'll be number two,"
right.
and I think that's what it is. That's why I'm just a lot of these different things is just starting to show me that I hate to be I hate for all the other analysts, on these professional shows to be correct, because for the next few weeks you're just gonna hear them bang on the Lakers. But
Right.
um, they would. I really believe they would start to take off if they did move Westbrook for, sorry to say, pretty much anyone. You know, and it's not the person that we would get in return. It would just be the fact that um they would be able to run the system the way that you know that would be conducive for the team, and it would kind of give everyone that moment, where they could breathe and okay, now we know our jobs. He's a you know just on that lines, he's a great player. Like you said, hate to beat a dead horse, but I
Yeah,
think his effect. I think just him affects AD more than what we thought, more than what 360 thought, and
exactly.
to
Yeah,
salvage this season is something that needs to be done.
yeah. AD he's no different than your any other typical big. They still want to eat, and Russ is just not, it's like you said, I mean, he's just not getting them the ball where and when he needs it. And I understand it takes time to get chemistry, but it's like, okay, if they haven't developed the chemistry, offensively speaking, okay, maybe it might just take a little bit longer, or maybe they might be able to figure it out by playoffs. But then when it's not clicking offensively and then it ain't clicking defensively too, that's just gonna make it's just gonna piss AD off even more, man.
Yep.
It's just gonna piss him off even more, and then it's gonna make AD look bad because when you have a damn escort service to the lane, uh, courtesy of Russell Westbrook, is I don't know. It's just pissing AD off, and it's making him work harder. And like I said, it is kind of making him look bad because it's putting him in bad situations, causing him to get dunked. Russ has caused he's caused about at least 3 or 4 guys I've seen this season to get dunked on. With his bad defense and poor rotations and all that kind of stuff, man. So
Who
it's
did
like
it happen to last night?
well, I thought it was. Man, I kind of tuned out, but I kind of thought it was, when Brian got posterized, but I ain't for sure. Probably not, man.
It
I
was
would just
when
blame
Brian
it on
got
his ass anyway. I'll blame it on his ass anyway. I don't know, man, but it's just really unfortunate, bro, that it's kind of turned out like this. But it is what it is. Third topic, LeBron James, man. Now it's kind of weird because, like I said, the Lakers they for whatever reason, after we win the championship, they're thinking it's better to take the ball from LeBron to try to preserve him. But then when you look at him these last 5 or 6 games, it's like, what was the point of all that shit? He's still pretty effective. Now, I know that he is older. He's gassed at the end of a lot of these games, but I'm like, it's kind of like now, hell, we wasted the last 2 seasons trying to take the ball from him when you might as well just let him have it, let it be. Whatever happens, happens. I know now that the ankles are gimpy and you know something could pop off at any time. But it's like we might as well just give it to him, man. We might as well just give it back to him and just take our chances.
bro. LeBron, since the moment he stepped foot in the league, was never not supposed to have the ball in his hands. He was always supposed to have the ball. He was always more Magic Johnson than Michael Jordan. And every time they're trying to go away from that on his teams, they didn't have success. Yes, for the last 2 years, he needed the ball. He needed to be point guard full time, which everyone thought
Right,
he would. And look at how well the last season and a half has gone. He's ended up with the ball anyway.
right, right,
I understand it's tiring. He's like, hey, I have to set the table for everyone. I have to score. Also, I have to try to play defense. And this season, the number one thing that's suffering is defense because he just can't do it. He's like, hey man, there's no AD out there. I got Russ who don't play D, and the other half of the team is in protocol.
right.
Um, the other night, the last game at when it was officially called Staples, I went to that game, and
Hmm.
you just saw it in person. It was from jump ball. LeBron was just I'm for us to be competitive, I have to score, and for me to score and stay in the entire game, I can't burn out on defense. He didn't play any defense. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bang on him that way. You know,
That's the truth.
love him,
He's
love him
part
as
of
a
the
player.
he's part of the problem too. He's part of the problem too, defensively speaking.
Yeah, but he played absolutely no defense, and it wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna try to fake and look like I'm this. No, I'm not playing defense. And then what we have a guy that averaged like 3 points a game, go off for 30 on him. You know,
That's
so
crazy, man.
yeah, it is. So that it's gonna be that way until the Lakers figure that out. Till the Lakers, you know, figure out who they want to be. Which is we have to move our so-called point guard so we can have our so we can have our real point guard handle the ball, and then we have to. That would help us in establishing our identity, man. That's the only way I can see us salvaging the season. 35 games in, I believe it still can be done, but they
Yeah.
they have to move. They have to move between now and All Star break. It has to be done.
Right,
It has.
right. So that brings me, man, to my last topic because I gotta get out of here shortly. But
Problem.
we pretty much addressed 360. So but the rest of the team. So I kind of feel like, well, I'll do it like this. I've identified three or four people who I think are pretty much expendable, who need to go uh, in place of younger, just more athletic people, or young athletic players rather, not just people. But DJ, dude was washed before he got here. DJ got to go.
Yes.
Bazemore, I just rather at this point I'd rather have somebody younger. He's got to go. I ain't gonna make no excuses for him. Whatever. He's got to go.
Yes.
Now I got one or two more, and then people might feel kind of funny about this. Now Rondo, I'm like this now. I know what the plan was for him when he came in. I'm aware of it, but I'm like, this team needs help. Now,
Yes.
if people think that he is that big of a help on the bench from what he provides off the bench, on the bench or in locker room, okay. But it's on the court, I don't even think he needs to play anymore. This is just my opinion because people keep saying they just think he's so great because he's able to unlock AD to a certain extent. But I'm like, well, what the hell else does he do? I don't see anything else out there that he does. And so that's three. And so if we can bring in some other younger players and get rid of these guys, I would be cool with that. And those are three guaranteed contracts right there. And we still have Avery Bradley. He's on a partially guaranteed contract. I like him, but he might be one of the first guys that get moved because if I'm not mistaken, his contract and Austin Reeves are the ones that are not fully guaranteed. So it probably might be those two guys first. And it's not that I want to get rid of those two guys, but I'm just saying those are the ones with the non-guaranteed contracts. Um, what is your take, man? What, we made up a team with a lot of old guys. I just identified three that I just think they're not really helping the team, man. What do you think?
No, I agree with a lot of that. DJ, his his knees are gone. You know, the athleticism was only there every blue moon. Uh, if we were to be able to move him, and it's not like, oh, we're gonna trade him for someone, but if we could bring in youth, that's just really what it is. For whatever skill set that youth has, we just need um we need young legs and or younger, let's say younger legs and knowledge of the game. Like, so I understand this when it comes to DJ, right? I was sitting there in the arena and wondering, hey man, we're getting dog. San Antonio has two big guys, and
Right.
we're playing DJ, or we're going small with no big, and we have Jay Huff on the bench, right? People are like, "Who's Jay Huff, bro?" Like when I had this discussion yesterday, people are like, "Okay, dude, who's Jay Huff?" Well, at the arena, I'm watching Jay Huff in the layup lines, 360 dunking, windmill, doing a
Really?
little two-hand windmill reverse, and I'm like, "Yo, this dude is athletic. He can get up, and he can."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here watching, two big slow centers just eating the Lakers up, getting rebounds, just being a presence in the middle, and jump hooking right over whoever we got playing the five. And I'm
Right.
like, we could use Huff. Like, he might not have a full understanding of our defensive schemes or whatever. I'm sure that's probably why he's not on the floor, but he can move. He will figure it out on the fly. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
we can't we he can't be any worse than what's happening to us right now, forcing DJ on the floor. So in that regard, I think DJ has to go just to get some youth in there. And whatever that youth can provide us, I'm sure it's not sub what he's providing us. Okay, that's that one. Bazemore. Bazemore is just a wasted roster spot at this point. Uh, yeah, it's true. If the coaching staff is not going to play him, uh, his confidence is so in the toilet when he does get in the game.
Right. Right.
And he just like he doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't get enough reps to figure it out. And
Right.
he's just a total liability. And so at this point, in my eyes, he needs to go. I'm gonna get to Rondo. I'm gonna go to Rondo right now. Okay, Rondo. If we retain him, it purely has to be on the bench as a player coach, locker room guy, veteran to help with the players. And that if we kept Dudley for
Right.
2 seasons, however long, and I absolutely didn't want him. If we kept Dudley, then that would be the only way we should keep Rondo. I'm not interested in playing Rondo anymore. Putting him in the game. Only maybe deep in the playoff when we need, to control the ball. We need someone to control the ball while LeBron gets a breather or something. Maybe something like that. But other than that, I don't want to be in a position to have to depend on Rondo.
Right.
Okay. Moving past Rondo, that's 3 roster spots right there to me where I feel like we could get more youthful in whatever capacity that is. I'm not one of those Laker fans. I want to clear it up. I'm not one of those Laker fans that think we're gonna trade uh a guy like Rondo for a perennial All Star. Like that doesn't happen.
Nah.
I'm re- you
Nah.
know I'm
Nah.
realistic. But if we could get some youth in return, because that's the thing that other teams have over us is youth, and they have legs and bodies that they can run out there at us. So that's 3 roster spots. Okay, my other one. I'm glad he showed up. It was cool. It's a good story, but his time is done to me, and that's it. You
Oh yeah.
know, I'm glad you worked your way back into the league. I hope someone would give him a job. But with this team, as bad defensively as we are, we can't afford to have a guy who's a total defensive liability on the team. It's just going to make it worse. We can't. It's hard to find minutes for you. Where teams are going to just start calling your man to come set a screen so they can, so they can get that mismatch. Sorry, you got to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I think his 10 days are up, and I think well they did announce earlier that they were not going to give him another 10-day contract, but supposedly there are a whole bunch of other teams interested in IT. So hopefully, you
No,
know,
that's good.
there's other teams, man, that he would fit in with perfectly, but just not with this one.
Yeah,
Not with
yeah,
the
that's
Lakers, man.
nah, that's good. That's good. You know.
Sorry.
I like Stanley Johnson though. I just want to throw that in there. I did like play I saw the Stanley Johnson.
For
If we could get
sure. I mean, it's like this. It's like Stanley's obviously. Well, I mean, I didn't realize that he was already playing for the Lakers G League team. I didn't realize that. But so Stanley's not a dummy. He's standing there watching, seeing all this stuff going on. He knows the Lakers struggles on defense. So what does he do? He gets his
exactly,
chance. He gets his chance, and
exactly,
he's like, I'm just gonna act a damn fool and just
exactly.
you know just make life miserable for whoever I'm guarding. And I'm like, after the first few minutes, I'm like, oh, he'll be back for another 10 days.
Yep,
It's
yep,
almost guaranteed.
yep.
It's almost
That's smart.
guaranteed. Uh, the Lakers have a player exactly who they sorely needed. So I don't think he'll be going anywhere. Collison, I want to see a little bit more of, but I think it's possible he may actually stick around too. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Collison actually has a pretty good basketball IQ. He can shoot. He just we know he's older now. We don't know if he has that ability. If he has that ability to stay in front of someone defensively. He didn't look that bad, but giving up two 4-point plays in a row that didn't help.
No,
Um,
that's unfair. Like I heard a lot of people ripping him for that. I mean, we talking about James Harden
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
Collison. He's been out the league. That was not a good look for sure. But
yeah.
I think I think he has an inside track on maybe hanging around um because of his past relationship with Vogel. But
Yes, yeah.
we'll see. We'll see, because you know how it is when Vogel gets his favorites, he'll keep those guys around. You know,
Well, that was
but
another thing. You just said it. With his past relationship with Vogel, he knows what Vogel is going to look for. You know,
exactly
and he's gonna figure out. Let me provide that. And that'll give me a chance to stick around, which is smart and which is what's needed. You know, I want to say something about what you said about Stanley Johnson.
hmm
What did Austin Reeves? What did AR-15 do? He figured out the same thing. Hey
right,
man, let me get in, make a mark on defense, which is what you know what this season it takes that from everyone. It takes
right,
that from everyone. We're trying to be pretty. We're trying to outshoot teams, all that good stuff. That stuff is gonna come after the defensive end. You know, right now this team we may need to subtract one big name player that we was talking about earlier and make a commitment to the defensive end. And I think this team can salvage this season. And it'll be exciting to see how far they can go. But they have to make that move.
right,
That's
right. I
yeah,
think we were actually poised, man, to make a run, but then all the COVID stuff jumped off, and then it just happens to be like three of the Lakers' better defensive players all went out at the same time, basically.
yeah.
AR-15, AB, that's
The
two
white.
right there. It's like they all went out almost at the same time. It's like, man, that's when the defense went to hell. So I don't know, man. So, but I think once we get the guys back, you know, if we make a move, we make a move, and then we can get back on track and make a run in the playoffs, man. But Bryce, hey, I appreciate you jumping on, bro.
No problem,
Thank you for the
brother.
support, man. Let everybody know where they can find you and the YouTube channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at Lakers Over Everything on YouTube or Instagram, Lakers underscore over underscore everything. That's where you can find me at. Um, talking about our favorite team.
Yeah,
Because
so
I'm not gonna.
that's
Yeah, yeah, no,
you and Marcel, right?
yes. Me and my partner Marcel. Um, Marcel, he usually spearheads it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, it's us two together. You can catch us on that for a lot of Laker content. AC, our brother, LA Sports Live, he comes on and supports us a lot.
For
So
sure,
we
for
want
sure.
to reciprocate the love, and it's been fun so far. We had a lot of letdown games this season, but so far going through this process, I'm enjoying it. Enjoying watching the season and giving my opinion on it, and I'm enjoying
Yeah,
listening to it and checking it out from you, my brother. So hopefully we have a lot more to come, a lot more better commentating to come in the
yeah, for
future.
sure. For sure, that brighten things up a little bit, bro. We're gonna they're gonna turn it around, bro. We just gotta get our people back, and
Yeah,
then we'll see if they can turn it around. But thanks again, Bryce, for jumping on. Everybody in the chat, thanks for jumping on. Shout out to Grand Swing and the Ghost for jumping in the chat. Um, it's been cool. I got to get out of here, get ready for church. As I always do, this is your boy AC, LA Sports Live. I will wrap with y'all later.
Later.